Hollywood was once again shaken by the news that Dakota Johnson announced her departure from the journey that had been associated with her name for many years. This news not only stunned fans, but also left a big shock for Jamie Dornan, who had accompanied Dakota in legendary moments on screen. Tornado: The Fateful Turn. Dakota Johnson, after many years living in the spotlight of her career, suddenly announced that there was no way back and resolutely left the path that she had built with Jamie Dornan. That decision was not only a career choice, but also a declaration of severing all ties in the past. Heartbreak: Jamie Dornan, unbelievable moment. The source said that Jamie Dornan was extremely shocked when he heard the news. He was silent, unable to accept the fact that Dakota had really passed away. The memories and beautiful frames that once captivated the world, now seemed to only remain in memory. For Dornan, this was nothing less than a cruel turning point, a deep cut that was difficult to heal. High Voltage fans were shocked. On social media, a wave of emotions exploded. Fans of both could not believe that the duo, once considered icons, had officially parted ways. Many expressed regret, saying that this was the end of an artistic relationship that had once written a legendary story. Rose: An Uncertain Future. Dakota Johnson left, leaving a huge void. Jamie Dornan faced the challenge of facing that absence. Can he continue to walk steadily, or will he forever stop in confusion and loss? Heartbreak: Tragedy. Jamie Dornan collapses in shock. Since Dakota Johnson's announcement of leaving, Jamie Dornan seems to have lost his way. A close source revealed that he has fallen into a state of silence for hours on end, his eyes looking far away as if he were lost in a void with no way out. Work sessions, meetings, all become heavy because his mind cannot stop thinking about the companion who once understood him better than anyone. New moon: Long Sleepless Night. The image of Jamie Dornan walking out of his apartment in the middle of the night, his face haggard and his eyes dark, makes fans feel heartbroken. He once shared that there were nights when he could not sleep, because every detail about Dakota, her smile, her eyes, her voice, kept coming back. That loss was like a dark shadow weighing down, gradually eroding his vitality. Dove: Echoes of the Past. Every time Jamie Dornan appears at an event, people see him silent when someone mentions Dakota. Old footage, scenes associated with memories, suddenly become invisible knives cutting into his heart. Even close friends said that Jamie repeatedly refused to participate in interviews just because he did not want to face the question, where is she now? Tornado: Unhealed Wound. Not only is it a breakup on the artistic path, but also like a deep love that is never named. Jamie Dornan is carrying a big wound, and fans are worried that, to heal it, it may take him a lifetime. Fog: Facing the Public, a choking moment. After many days of silence, Jamie Dornan finally appeared at a public event. The flashbulbs kept flashing, but instead of his usual confident demeanor, he appeared with a sad face, the corners of his eyes red as if he had just gone through a long sleepless night. When asked by reporters about Dakota Johnson, Jamie just smiled awkwardly, his lips trembling before exclaiming, "I still can't believe it's true." That moment made the whole audience silent, and social networks immediately exploded with millions of shares and comments. Candle: The Lost Man. In the following days, Jamie Dornan's image continuously appeared in the media with a haggard appearance, sometimes sitting quietly in a familiar coffee shop, where Dakota used to go with him. He became the symbol of a lost man, losing his greatest spiritual support. Many fans sent words of encouragement, hoping that he would soon find himself again, but the pain seemed too deep to be soothed with just a few words of comfort. Hourglass: Time doesn't heal? People often say time will heal everything, but for Jamie Dornan, each passing day deepens the void. Despite his busy work schedule, every time the backstage door closes, he returns to loneliness and memories of Dakota. This cruel turn of events seems to have become a permanent scar in his life. Fire: Emotional Moment. At an international press conference, Jamie Dornan suddenly became the center of attention when asked about Dakota Johnson. At first, he tried to stay calm, forcing a smile. But just a few seconds later, Jamie's voice choked, his eyes glistened, and then he suddenly broke down in front of hundreds of cameras. "I have lost the most important part of my life. No one can replace Dakota." The atmosphere in the auditorium fell, many reporters were silent, not daring to ask more questions. The video recording this moment immediately spread on social networks, making millions of people emotional, and fans everywhere sent him countless messages of love. Wave emotions flow away. After the press conference, Jamie Dornan returned backstage in a state of exhaustion. His manager said he sat for hours, his eyes empty as if he had just lifted a heavy burden but at the same time lost the last fragile hope. Dakota is gone, and there is no way back. High-voltage Hollywood shock. Jamie's emotional outburst not only caused public sympathy, but also became a hot topic in the entertainment industry. Colleagues, friends and many big stars publicly expressed their sympathy, saying that Dornan was going through one of the most painful periods of his life. New Moon's serious crisis, shaky career. After a moment of emotional explosion in public, Jamie Dornan entered a real crisis. Many major film projects that he had been invited to participate in began to falter. Producers were worried that his unstable mental state would affect the progress. Some even secretly looked for a replacement, causing Dornan's career, which was at its peak, to fall into a dangerous spiral. Wilted flower: the man lost in the dark. A close source revealed that Jamie repeatedly refused to appear at script readings, even missing from important meetings. Close friends were worried when they saw him drowning in alcohol, his eyes dull, no longer the strong man on the silver screen. The image of Jamie Dornan, once famous, was now replaced by a fragile version, collapsing in pain. Newspaper wave of public opinion. International media continuously reported, both regretfully and questioning, can Jamie Dornan overcome? Or will this be the end of a star who once made millions of hearts flutter? Fans around the world sent words of encouragement, creating campaigns to cheer him back. But it was Jamie who had to find his own way in this deep darkness. Milky Way touching the bottom of despair. There were days when Jamie Dornan completely disappeared from the spotlight. He locked his phone, stayed away from social media and refused all calls. People saw him wandering on the beach at midnight, looking lonely, his shoulders heavy as if he was carrying the gloomy sky. The footsteps imprinted on the sand were then erased by the waves, just like his life was being swept away, with no support. Candle: the thought of giving up. Close friends admitted that Jamie once exclaimed in a moment of weakness, "Maybe I should stop everything." That statement made many people fear that he was thinking of giving up not only his career, but also himself. A Jamie Dornan who was once strong, who once captivated audiences, has now become a lost soul, no longer knowing what to cling to except tearful memories. Wilted flower: Hollywood regrets. While Jamie collapsed in the dark, the Hollywood entertainment industry expressed its regret. Some famous directors and actors publicly sent messages asking him not to give up. Fans around the world created the hashtag #StayStrongJamie, hoping that the energy from millions of hearts could reach him. But it seems that Dornan is still sinking to the bottom of despair. Shooting star: unexpected light in the darkness. When everything seemed to have hit rock bottom, a small incident became a rare ray of light that pulled Jamie Dornan out of the abyss. While quietly attending a charity event, he was suddenly hugged tightly by a little girl, her eyes sparkling with innocence as she said, "Uncle, don't be sad anymore. I always believe you are strong." That moment was like an arrow piercing straight through Dornan's heart. He paused, his eyes filled with tears. For the first time after a long series of dark days, Jamie felt a pure emotion, the belief that fans always had in him. Light bulb: the power of empathy. Not only from the little girl, thousands of letters, millions of messages from all over the world were continuously sent to him. The simple messages: "You are not alone, stand up because we are still here became a great source of motivation. Jamie began to realize that, even though Dakota had left, there was still a large family of fans behind him waiting for him to move on. Fire determined to get back up. Jamie Dornan gradually regained his balance. He returned to the gym, started attending small script readings, and found ways to rebuild the lost energy. The pain did not go away, but now he no longer let it overwhelm him. Dornan chose to move on, not to forget Dakota, but to prove to himself that, from the darkness, there can still be light.